Oh, yes, my little kitties. Oh, yes, my little kitties. This is where you get truth, justice, and the Big Sales way. But as always, the signature start of the program, Big Sales. By the way, let me hook you guys up with something here. But hey, I want to start. By the way, I know you guys have other options. I thank you guys so much for coming here each and every single day, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 Eastern time. You guys are legendary. You're building the show like no one else. I mean, of all the other shows that you can hear in Philly and around the country, this is where you really get, in my opinion, interaction between people who are not just going to put yes men on the show. And you guys disagree with me, agree with me. We go back and forth, but you know what we do have? We have a forum here, all of us. You know, I mean, the only thing that separates me from you guys is that I host the show. Okay? Is that we host the show and you guys basically are my co-host here. That defense sucks, dude. Let me get to my takeaways here first. Okay? I'll get to those. And I'll tell you the way it was last night. Okay? I will. Guys, I appreciate it. Again, I just want to make sure we get that out. By the way, how many people believe, before we get even started here, how many people believe that Tanner McKee should be the number 2 quarterback in Philly? And I'm going to tell you guys how insane that is. On August 16th, how many people believe that he should be the backup quarterback? Okay, Jameson says me. Who else? McKee. Me. Okay. Absolutely. At least get some second team reps. Okay. 90% of the fans think that. Said, here, let's put this up. I'm going to show you what 98% of the fans don't put into the conversation. Look at all you guys. Here. Let's see what Bob Brown says. Seals Pickett is the right number 2 for the game. McKee is a long-term solution. Pickett can't throw over 5 yards. I'm assuming that's what LT's saying. Troy says, I say no. You guys are missing the biggest point of why Kenny Pickett is number 2. Trade value. If you take that quarterback and drop him in the 3 hole, Howie's ability to move him to, say, Minnesota or anyone else come the trade deadline, you diminish a trade of potentially a higher pick. You fuck him over by doing that. You're trying to evaluate that guy to elevate his trade value. That's why Nick won't commit to McKee being 2. McKee's outplayed him. McKee outplayed Mariota last year. Did it matter? No. What Bob Brown said is exactly right. He's a long-term thing. Think football, folks. Not just on the field. Think football. Think business. Think money. Think draft picks. Think Howie Roseman. Dude, you guys are missing the entire boat. This is not college football. If you demote Kenny Pickett, you get nothing in return for him. You're trying to lie. You're trying to put really great-looking tires and a good paint job on a wreck and sell it for more than it's worth. Have you ever sold a house or an apartment or your car or anything? You don't tell people, well, it sucks. Here, what do you want? Give me most what you can for it. What do you want to do, a yard sale with Kenny Pickett? Try to think business-wise. This is why you're missing it. You're not wrong. Pickett's not playing better than Tanner. You're not wrong, but you're missing the NFL angle. And you're taking Howie Roseman out of the equation when it comes to the depth chart. You guys got to think, man. Again, Those other shows aren't going to drop knowledge on you here. Okay? You're not going to drop knowledge like that on here. We're going to tell you the business angle because look, that's why. Hey, he's a really good guy. Fuck that. Who cares if don't ruin his value. Twiz, lipstick on a pig. Correct. Minnesota's probably already called him. Do you realize that some of those checkdowns were probably to inflate his numbers in that game last night so that it'll look good on a stat sheet, so that he'll be viable for someone to call and make a deal for? Okay? I mean, dude, that's what you're trying to do here. You're trying to elevate his value. If the Eagles themselves think he sucks, why would I give you a 4th or 5th rounder for him? I'll wait for you to cut him. Or I'll give you a 7th rounder for him, when I could potentially get one of those 5s back or 4s back of a year ago, or this past April, I should say. It's not whether or not he played well. It's about trade value. And if he kind of looks decent, sell that. Holy shit. It's just like 101 sometimes. I'm not saying all of you in here. Some of you get it. I get it. I'm not really, but when I hear people talking out there like that, it's fucking stupid. Okay? Sills, it's like a used car lot. Pick it up to the front of the lot. Polish his ass up and try to move him before someone looks under the hood. Amen. Amen, man. Amen. That's exactly right. Look what I got here, man. This kid's a former #1 overall pick. You know, he worked with the 2s and 3s last night. You know, and by the way, I'm going to give you my takeaways and my honest takeaways from what I saw last night. Not that bullshit you hear and all these cheerleaders you have. By the way, Philly 500 will join us at 4:30. The legendary Philly Godfather will join us at 5:30. Xander will hit us up at 3:30. The co-host of Birds 365, John McMullen, and him are doing an absolutely whale of a job. Adam, listen, it's just about trade value. Tanner McKee is outplaying him. I completely agree with each and every single one of you. No doubt about it. He's outplayed. He looks good. By the way, we'll get into some of the things that he said post-game last night, too. Okay? All right. So, again, exhibition season is in full swing, obviously. Second game last night, Patriots and Eagles. You know, Sirianni reacted. And by the way, I'm going to make a comment here. I'm sorry. I completely disagree. And I'm going to show you what a liar that Nick Sirianni is as a coach. Last year, he was even confronted with it in post-game last night. Hey, Nick, you even came out publicly and said you regretted not playing the starters in the exhibition season. He was asked that question last night, and he walked it back. Well, you know, things are different and situations are different. What, the new coordinator? I completely disagree with not getting any reps with the first team. I completely do not agree with rolling them out and putting them out there September 6th and saying, let's go play a ball game. And I don't give a shit about your formaldehyde practice on Tuesday. I mean, Mahomes, Allen, all of them, Burrow, all of them get quality reps. Not a ton, but they get quality game reps to get themselves prepared for the start of the season. I completely disagree with this. He even himself said he regretted it. And now he's walking that shit back. Because you know why? The organization made that call, not him. Last night, a reporter even called him out on it. Hey, Nick, you said that you regretted not playing your starters in the preseason. Last night, he went into this, once again, diatribe in his political answer, and he said, I probably shouldn't have said that. Probably shouldn't have said that because at the time, it fit the narrative. Now it doesn't fit the narrative because the organization pulls the strings. That is right. Right here in a nutshell is exactly right. It's not Nick's decision anyway. Well, then shut your mouth. You regretted not playing him? Well, obviously you have no gravitas in the building on wanting to play the guys. You felt that they got too much work on Tuesday. The defense did too. Hey, I get the defense needs more reps. I completely disagree. I agree with Hugh Douglas and John Ritchie. They are not prepared for the upcoming start of the season with the lack of quality reps. Hey, I may be proven wrong. I may be proven wrong. But by the end of last year, the fraudulent team was exposed. We'll see. I tell you what, I like what Nick's doing. I like what Nick's doing because he's playing the political angle of what he was told to do. He's being told this. But I'll tell you what I really like. Boy, I really like Vic Fangio. He's looking for ball players. It's hard for puppet coaches to win Super Bowls. I can't think of one. I can't think of one. All right. Let's get into the takeaways. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of something here for me. I don't listen to really anybody. I listen to the players and coaches after games. I don't listen to analysts. I don't listen to people who think they know because they've been around a team for a billion years. I watched the game, and then I watched the game again this morning. I went back and watched it again. Okay? Sills, it's too hard to listen to cheerleaders BS. By the way, let me start it off. It was a shitty game. It's 2 in a row, sloppy, but it's a lot of 2s and 3s. It's not an indictment. It's just that's what you get when you get a lot of 2s and 3s. Okay? Hey, guys, almost like save your takes here, and I promise you, the NFL channel commentary was awful. Okay? The game stuff was, I think it was the Patriots. That was their TV crew that was calling that game last night. Guys, please hit the like button. All right. Here's Big Sil's takeaways from last night's game. It's like, here's the orange crop estimate. If you guys know the movie, it's a Philly movie. You can reference it. Here's the orange crop estimates. All right. I'm not sure the Patriots can beat Boston College. That is an absolutely awful roster. I mean, there's some quality guys on that team. I think their quality side is really on the defensive side of the ball. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. But the offensive side of the football, there's very limited talent on that side. Boy, they got a long way to go. I didn't think Drake May looked that bad. Tyler Steen hurt again. Tyler Steen hurt again. Dude, this guy is like paper mache. Paper mache. Sorry, kid, you lost your job. Back to the end of the bus. I have no time for that. No time for that. Back to the back of the line. I thought the Patriots did a pretty decent job on defense against the Eagle Twos. Had 5 sacks in the ball game. I believe maybe they could have had one more, but they pressured them. And I thought now look, they played a lot of their frontline guys and you played your twos. So it was a really good look for you to get a look at the Eagle Twos. because I think the Patriots played a lot of their ones over on defense, as did the Eagles on defense. Okay? Kellen Moore's offense put up 14 points against a pretty good defense and using twos. That's not awful. That's a good, they were 8th in defense last year. They were 8th. Okay? Man, we got a lot to hit on here. Lot to hit on right now. I said it a couple minutes ago. Very sloppy football game. Please hit the like button, guys. I thought Zach Bond had a really good ball game last night. He's not used to playing inside. When you watch the game and you watch what they're asking him to do, I thought he played really well last night. He was very active. He ran to the ball. He had good, proper fits. I thought he played really well last night. I thought Bond played well. Avonte Maddox with a play. Kudos. Back of the end zone, stopping a scoring drive. That was good to see. That's encouraging to see. He took it out, too, from the back of the end zone, put up and gave him good field position. I thought he really showed you and gave you something there that's encouraging. Again, no one's ever really questioned whether or not Avonte Maddox can play. It's whether or not he can play in consistency. I thought Tanner McKee, like I said, I thought he really did a nice job. Go-ahead drive. Drove like 75 yards or 70 yards to get the go-ahead drive. I thought he played. I thought he really played well. Nakobe Dean, probably the best game he's played as an Eagle. He made some plays. He did a nice job. That was pretty much their starting offense, too. Not that the Patriots have anything, but still, it's reps. And he played a lot of football last night. And all the experts were saying he wasn't going to play a lot. He played like 3 quarters last night. And he was around the ball. Okay? That was probably his best game since he's been in an Eagle uniform. I mean, ran, did some good things. He played well last night. Okay? He did. Am I sold on him? Absolutely not. You know what pyrite is? That's fool's gold. Consistency is the only thing that sells big sills. Not an exhibition game, even though it matters. That mattered last night more to me than that bullshit thing on Tuesday. That mattered more to me. Okay? So, he played well last night. It's the best I've seen him look as a football player last night. Devin White is garbage. I mean, you got to play him. You've got to play him. What are you thinking about? That guy needs reps too. Okay? He needs reps too. I mean, get him reps. So what you're saying is there's a chance Trotter and Dean. No, I'm not saying anything like that. Got to clean up them penalties. You got to clean up. I mean, 2 games in a row. I think you're at 14 now. Let's go. But then again, it's 2s. Seals, I totally agree. Our players need to play to get ready for the season, especially on defense. If no balls, no glory, there's where I stand. Howie and Lori are writing a big check, hoping the offense cashes. That's absolutely true. I totally disagree with this philosophy, and I always will. I do not believe that offense sitting in a formaldehyde jar on Tuesday is ready for the Packers. And you got a ton of talent over there. You're relying, like you said, Ace, on the talent to carry you. And Green Bay's playing ball games. And they're playing love. And they're playing their starters. Not significantly, but they're looking at game tempo. And Nick Sirianni and the organization believes that a practice is going to have them ready for Brazil. So be it. Let's see who's right. Let's see who's right September 6th. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah, very good. You guys picked up the movie reference. Nice. Nolan Smith. I'm not going to kill Nolan Smith on the late hit on Drake May. It's an effort play. I'm actually seeing it looks to me that he's trying to find his way. Okay? He's nowhere near ready yet. He's still a halfway green apple. Look, the hit on Drake May, I'm not going to kill a player in an exhibition game. I'm just going to make him cognizant. Can't have that. Extends drives, and you put us in a bad position. But he was active last night. I saw him. See, my eyeball test will always be the number one test. Okay? But he's average right now. If I were to give you an estimate on him, he's average. He's an average ball player. Jacoby Dean is an inconsistent ball player. So it's still work in progress there. You still got some weeks. It's not anything to get your panties in a bye. But it's still Nolan Smith is not a first-round draft choice in my eyes right now. I don't see it. I don't see that guy being a first-round pick. I don't see anywhere where that was in the evaluation where that guy's the 30th best player in a draft. I don't. Like I said, I'm down on Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is a first-round pick. Okay, he's a first-round pick. That guy's not. Third, fourth. Something like that. Plus, he can get bull rushed off the line by an offensive lineman. Just, I mean, here's my assessment on Bryce Huff last night. I saw the stupid-ass article by the Inquirer. Here's my takeaway, watching the game twice. I don't think he knows the defense that well yet. I saw him numerous times last night taking himself out of plays. He gets off the ball decent, very decent, as a matter of fact, above average. But I don't think he knows what he's doing out there. There were so many times, poor angles, wrong pursuit angles. I mean, he looks like a non-drafted player at times. I mean, he runs around out there like it just seems confusing to him. I see a guy still learning how to play every down now. I mean, when I look at his snaps that he played, it just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I just don't see it. Not yet. Okay, I mean, I don't know. You got to look at all the plays and how he pursues to the ball, and it just looks to me like he doesn't know what he's doing. The offensive line is an issue. Your backups, you have no depth. It just doesn't look like you have any depth now. Because I thought the Patriots, I thought they kicked the shit out of that second group of the Eagles. They kicked the shit out of them. 5 sacks. Stopped numerous drives, held them to 14 points. I mean, now they were going against the ones. You're not supposed to dominate twos, but did a pretty decent job against the Ravens. Ravens played some of their ones on defense last Thursday, but the depth level of your football team on offensive line could be a concern here, especially if some of these guys go down because Steen can't handle it. Nolan Smith cannot get off blocks. He looks average. He sure does, man. He just looks average. Okay? He just looks average. And once again with Huff, he just poor pursuit angles. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing out there. I mean, I think he's still like, I can't wait to hear Vic say it. And it just, I mean, there's signs of encouraging things in the pass rush, but the rest of it, it's totally still a work in progress. I mean, gotta say, man, I hate to do this, but Kenny Gainwell, every single time he steps on a football field, he's getting better and better. He's going to play. Kenny Gainwell has been a star in camp. He's been a star in camp. He's played well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the guy, but every single time, and sometimes an offense can change a guy's direction and projection, because him and that Kellen Moore offense, he looks really good, man. He does. I mean, listen, I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think him and Barkley are going to be really good this year. As I said, I thought Drake May did a really nice job. I thought he did a really nice job. And again, against the Eagle ones, there was a lot of ones still out there. May did a nice job, moved the team. I thought that's the best he's looked as a quarterback. I got to say this to you, man. Listen to this. 6'8", 365, 6'6", 332, 6'3", 303, 6'7", 363, 6'6", 325. Mulata, Dickerson, Juergens, Becton, and Lane. That's the fucking biggest offensive line I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit, is that enormous. I mean, I don't know how tall Jalen Hurts is, but I don't know, man. I mean, that guy needs a Tokyo phone book to look over that old line, because that is one of the biggest offensive lines I have ever seen. I mean, holy cow. Someone just said, is Juergens undersized? No, that's about right. 6'3". I mean, Kelsey wasn't anything more than that. Guys, please hit the like button. I mean, wow. Absolutely one of the biggest offensive lines. It's over. Mekhi Becton has won that right guard spot. Tyler Steen, sorry, dude. You're in the tub and you don't perform. What else can I say? You know, this isn't like handing out library cards. You got to earn that spot over there. He had everything in front of him to earn that spot. Injuries, what have you, lack of production. I've never seen him play well. Okay? And I don't even know if Mekhi Becton is really good over there. I mean, he basically won that job by default. Steen didn't show up. Mulata says he likes the new playbook. He says it frees the offensive line on pre-snap calls and allows Hurts to take control. I think that's been one of the things that we've seen that has been that has been a factor here. Let's see, what'd you say here? I don't get it. Well, he's still on the roster. I don't want James Bradbury getting any snaps. I don't get it. You're not getting anything for him. Cut him. It only cost you $4 million. Cut him. What the fuck are you going to do paying a guy $12 million? Give me the roster spot for someone else to go out and sign a guy. I don't care who you sign. Sign Mills. Get someone more competent that knows how to play the safety position. Get fucking rid of him. He's a liability on the roster. And you're like, he's not even going to play corner. I mean, Are you really that unsure of your corners that you keep an $11 million guy on your football team? I'd rather, like Xander says, I'd rather give up touchdowns early in the year and lose ball games than to have James Bradbury still on my team helping me lose games. I'd rather have Eli Ricks or Keely Ringo or any of these other guys blow a coverage other than him. His money makes me nuts. I don't want to pay him for that effort. No disrespect, son. You were a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. Old news. It's time to fucking get rid of him. Play some of the... dude, James Bradbury versus a fifth rounder I would play. I'd play the fifth round safety. I mean, Howie's magic. Where in the world has that guy put up tape in the last year in a camp where a team would trade for him a fourth or fifth rounder and pick up $12 million after that shit and getting turned around last night on tape? Where in the world would you think that? Use some freaking common sense. This is a bad roster spot. You can't keep guys on your team like that. I think he's out the first cut. He's out the first cut. Guys, please hit the like button. Will Shipley's going to get some playing time. Okay? He's going to get some playing time. He's shown me that he can block in pass protection. First and foremost, get this. The number one thing I wanted to see last night out of Shipley is pass probe. He can do it. He runs in between the tackles. He catches the football. Got to tell you, man, he catches it out in space. Nice little screen that he caught last night. I want you to listen to me when I say this. He's got the same fundamental skill set that you see in guys like Kamara and with McCaffrey. Are they those? Is he those players? No. Nobody's suggesting that. Skill set is different than talent set. Does he have the talent of McCaffrey? Absolutely not. Does he have the talent of Kamara? Absolutely not. Does he have the same skill set as those players? Absolutely. There's a difference. Okay? Right, Chip. It's his own version. He's got the technical fundamentals that McCaffrey has. He reminded me of McCaffrey last night, running in between the tackles, running inside, catching the ball out and out, blocking and pass probe. McCaffrey is a really good pass protector. Okay? He's a really good pass protector. I got ahead of myself here. This Bradbury thing, this makes no sense to me. I really just don't get it. The depth in the O-line. Holy cow. I mean, the depth in the O-line, I just, I don't get it, man. I mean, I don't see it. I think you got some problems there. If you get a couple guys, it's funny, man. What was that guy's name? Jack Driscoll? Remember all you guys used to hate him? Man, I wish I had him back. That Stoll guy? Man, I wish I had that guy back. I wish I had dudes like that. I think Trevor Keegan continues to improve. He does. He's going to get some reps this year. I don't know, God forbid, if anybody goes down, he's going to get some reps. He's had a good camp, and he's had a good 2 exhibition games. I told you this on draft day. I know Xander did too. This is one of my favorite picks of that draft. 34 starts at Michigan, team captain, national title. If he's in any other year in the draft, he's a 3rd round pick. But because it was so deep, he went in the 5th. He's a 3rd round talent. Okay? He's a 3rd round talent. Mid 3rd round, too. He's going to play. He's probably going to be your heir apparent at right guard next year. Okay? I mean, I like what he's done. Actually, him and Trotter have been the most impressive rookies so far. Sills, I don't disagree about the ones reps, but depth makes a deep run possible. The offense should knock the rust off quickly in the season. We need to know who the next man up are. I don't subscribe to putting out starters. Yeah, I like that, Kyle. I like that. I would say this to you. I don't subscribe to that. Lining them up September 6th with a new coordinator, not having seen anything, and you're taking everything out of that practice against the Patriots. Well, the Patriots played a ton better last night. They worked over that offensive line. Again, not the starters. But I thought the Eagle defense was okay against a very inferior Patriot offense. I mean, it was ones versus ones last night. So I mean, hey guys, look at what this dickhead said here. Have I been trashing anybody? Or just telling the truth? Here's another fuckhead that doesn't like the truth. Bro, you don't like it? Fuck you, man. Go watch another show. Honest to God. Dude, you're not a representative of the people that have built this show. You're talking to yourself. Okay? Why do they? Because it's the only place that they can get the truth. And can actually argue with us. So, bro, you don't like it? Get the fuck out of here. Or become part of the group. It's up to you. Dumb fuck? Okay, guy. Sure. Go suck someone off, man. That don't happen here. Okay? Shipley fumbled more than any running back on the roster right now while at Clemson. Hey, JM, I thought that offensive line at Clemson wasn't very good last year. Okay? That's hey, Chaos, you know why he's watching? He's part of the media people that do that. That's why. Hey, Sills, we're doing great pissing off the chat. I'm just telling you what I saw last night. That's what I saw last night. Talk a little bit about the two quarterbacks that played. They had a press conference last night. Christian McCaffrey was fumbling all in the Super Bowl. If you watch Sills, is right more often. Thank you. Shipley definitely works on bettering himself. I like the kid a lot. I really do. Sills, it was ones versus R2s. You had your one defense out there, dude. Prince, are you trying to tell me you didn't have your one defense out there outside of your tackles and Sweat? Are you really trying to tell me you didn't have your your defense out there? I saw your ones out there all day. I saw N'Kobe out there for 3.5 quarters. Are you trying to say that? I mean, that's not what I saw. And I watched the damn game twice. Oh, okay. I know Carter and Davis didn't play. The rest of them did, except for Sweat. Huff played. Nolan played. Linebackers played. The entire secondary played outside of Gardner Johnson and the hurt kid. No Slay. Not going to put Slay out there. Yeah. The majority of your defense was out there on the field. What, Nolan Smith didn't play and Huff didn't play? Hey, look, I'm not debating this. Kenny Pickett, this is what he said last night. Hey, by the way, one more time. Kenny Pickett is not outplaying Tanner McKee. Okay? He didn't. I thought the Patriots, this is what he said. The reason that some of the drives were stalled because the Patriots were throwing blitzes and they were bringing pressure on some of the and some of the pressure stopped it. The dudes really look bad with Reddick and Huff switch. Dukes really look bad with the Reddick and Huff switch. Sean, what are you trying to say, brother? I can tell in Kenny Pickett's voice, he knows that he's not playing better than Tanner McKee. Okay? Here's McKee. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. I really like Tanner McKee at the microphone. He tells you a lot of what's going on. And how the offense is working. Okay? He was like this. He goes, you know, they asked him how come he wasn't throwing deep. I appreciate it, Jeremiah. Thank you. It's going to be rough on defense to start the season unless young guys show up and the linebackers can overperform. That defense is not very good. It is not very good. And will it be ready by Green Bay? No. It won't be ready for another 2 months, 3 months at best. Okay? At best. It won't be better. The offense is going to clearly have to handle the clock and time of possession. And your special teams are going to have to be a factor early in the year. I agree with Xander. Start of that season, you're going to have a newly improved Atlanta team. I don't know what that means. Do you beat them? Probably. But they're going to be a newly improved Atlanta team. They got a new juice down there with Raheem. I posted a great picture of me and Raheem. I talked to Raheem Morris last night. And I posted a picture of Raheem over at Dan Sileo show on my Twitter page. I had a great conversation with Raheem Morris. We've known each other for 20 years plus. I said, congratulations, man. He goes, how about Bates and Justin Simmons in my secondary? I'm like, that's a fantastic, fantastic duo. He goes, yeah, and plus we ended up getting, obviously, the kid, Matthew Judon. He goes, what do you make of Judon? I said, you know, probably give you about 9 sacks, but he's going to cover. He's going to stop the run, and he's going to set the edge. And remember something, too. He didn't play a ton of ball last year. His years were two years ago and 3 years ago. So I told him, I said, the only thing I'm worried about is, okay, he might be refreshed or he could be a year older. That's the gamble you take when a guy gets hurt like he did a year ago. He only played 4 games. I think 6 games, 4 games. He's got to stay healthy. That's right, JM. For that guy to be a factor. Remember something. The New England Patriots were 8th in total defense last year, and he went on the field. So, I mean, that's why they moved off him. And they went to that Keon White kid they got from Georgia Tech the year previous. Dan, do coaches design preseason games to show more individual play more than team play, or is it the same? No, they don't game plan. Yeah, get this. There's very little game planning that goes into exhibition ball games. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get an evaluation of your own current players. You won't start that Green Bay process. They've probably started some of the process now on building the game plan. But why would I show my game plan for Green Bay versus the Patriots last night? I wouldn't. I'm not going to give Matt LaFleur and the defensive coaches a head start on what I might show in the game in September. No way. Why would I? I'm trying to be as covert as I possibly can in what I'm going to throw at you out there. As a matter of fact, some of it could be misinformation plays where you're throwing plays out there that you'll never see in that ball game on September 6th. Howie and Lori remind me of the Dukes from the Trading Places, how they run this team. Pretty good. I like it, Sean. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you. How do you think Quinion looks so far? Like he fits, King. King, like he fits. Okay? Like here. Bryce Huff doesn't look like he fits. Okay? He just doesn't look like he fits. There were some promising things last night. I'm not going to dismiss him. But I still think he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing out there. Just watch the tape. Poor angles, poor pursuit angles. He's late on runs. He's not a very good run stopper. I mean, he just is not. And get this, because they suck off Howie Roseman so bad in Philly, they will do everything in their power to lie to you and tell you that Huff was great last night. He wasn't. He was decent. You can't have decent when you had Reddick. You're missing it. Decent, you can barely accept with Nolan Smith. But because Smith was the 30th pick, that's even kind of fucked up. I told you going into that game, pass rushing against quality teams are going to be a problem for them. Okay? I agree with you, man. I think the pass rush is going to be an issue. And if the pass rush becomes an issue, guys, it's like a house of cards. If you pull one card out, the back end is going to fall down on top of it. If you don't get a pass rush, your secondary suffers. And this is why you end up 31st. You've got to get pressure on the quarterback. And you've got to manufacture it some way. And it's not in a trade. Guys, Seals, how does a team evaluate talent at wide receiver and tight end when quarterback 2 sucks balls asking for a friend? Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Watch him run his route, his hands. Quarterback doesn't. Hey, get this. If a quarterback doesn't get you the ball and you run your proper route and you get off the line of scrimmage and you show separation and you show physicality and the guy's trailing you, that to me knows that you're doing your fundamental skills and you have fundamental skills at wide receiver. If the quarterback can't get you the ball, that's not a you issue. That's either an offensive line issue or a quarterback issue or both. You know, the most dependent position in the entire NFL on the offensive side of the ball is who? Wide receivers. Line's got to block. Quarterback's got to throw you the ball. That's why they're sometimes the least most important people. I think you win Super Bowls with a quality wide receiving core versus one or two great ones. Translates out that way. And the Eagles have 2 really good ones. The rest of those guys are dudes. Half those guys on that Eagle team couldn't make a team. At that wide receiver 3 position, and the rest of them guys. Dude, Johnny Wilson, Anais Smith, Paris Campbell, they're dudes. They're dudes. I mean, Jay Brown, me and him don't see eye to eye. Jay Brown, tell people why tight ends win Super Bowls. Tell them why having a superstar tight end or a guy that's a really good tight end winning. Tell them why that's important. Seals, do you think the reason why the starter aren't showing out is because they want to stay healthy for the regular season? I believe that that's their mentality. Hey, Jay Brown, because here, there you go, Bob. Excellent, Bob. As usual. Weakest position in the National Football League is linebacking cores in the league. There's no coincidence that Detroit Lions, the Baltimore Ravens, and the San Francisco 49ers, Buffalo Bills, they lose Milano now. That's going to hurt them. But there's no coincidence. Chiefs, all those teams that made the Final Four all have great linebacking cores. There's no coincidence. Ravens, last year, Patrick Queen, he's no longer there. He's now in Pittsburgh. Okay. Sileo, we know that guy. Sorry, I'm wrong guy here. Keep posting away. Thanks for the algorithm. Sills, Huff looks like he's trying to. That's correct. That's correct. Huff looks like he's trying to do too much rather than what he needs to do. I think he needs to slow down a little bit. Maybe Huff needs to learn how to play with his contract. I just think he needs to learn how, in my opinion, I think he needs to learn how to basically play and run and play run stopping. That's what I think. James says, guys, you guys are really great today. I've been saying it, average linebackers don't cut it. You need two-tier linebackers. Should have gotten Queen. That's a $17.8 million decision when you do that, my friend. It's a $17.8 million decision. Same thing. Watch this. How do you think your defense would look with all the younger players if you had spent the money of $17.8 million for Patrick Queen, or you turned around and put $17.4 on Xavier McKinney, put him at the safety position, and you put those two guys on your team? Your team would look a whole different concept defensively. It would be a completely different concept if you had that. Pickett is the best money laundering. Sills, your thoughts on the third rounder, Jalix Hunt? I'm not as down on it now. I'm not as down on it. I hated the pick. But maybe. I'm not as down on him as I was on draft day. Does that make sense? I'm nowhere near anywhere. But I'm not. How about this? I'm not really hating it anymore. Okay? Because I see him working. Okay? I mean, I'm not. How about this, guys? Am I right? Jalix Hunt, I'm not hating it. Right? I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it anymore. Let me finish on Tanner McKee here. So, I mean, Joseph says Dean seems to be improving. Let's give a guy kudos. I thought he played well last night. Okay? And I can't stand the player. He played well. Let's see him against Minnesota. Continue to get him reps. Here's a man that has played only 218 NFL snaps. Okay? CJ goes, I'm coming around on the pick too, Sills. Yeah, I'm not hating the Jalix Hunt. I'm nowhere near hey, it's a good pick. Nowhere near that. But it doesn't look awful right now. You know? Roland says, I have questions about Nolan Smith. He's just a very average ball player. Ringo's definitely a sleeper at corner. Okay. I'm going to get to my starting lineup for August 16th as we're getting ready to go into probably some pretty intense practices that the Eagles are going to have over the next couple days. Probably this weekend. You're going to see some really intense practices because they're going to have to make some decisions here as they're getting ready to get to the first cut down. They're going to have to make some decisions here. The right guard position is completely set. He was asked the question, Tanner McKee. Last year, huge advantage sitting on the sidelines watching how Jalen Hurts ran the offense and how he handled himself. I am liking Tanner McKee. I thought he was garbage. He's how about this? If I had to make something of him, is Sam Darnold better than him? Probably. By a lot? I don't know. Give Tanner some more reps. He's a very smart kid. He sees things out there in the middle of the field exceptionally well. Okay. Okay. Tanner's better than Pickett. He's playing better than Pickett. So you gotta give Tanner's playing. He's improving. One thing I'll always do, just because I said something out of the gate on a player, if the player plays well, I'll give him his kudos. If a player sucks, I'll tell you he sucks. This is not an opinion. This is what he's doing. My opinion on Tanner McKee is what he's doing. What do you want me to say? He sucks? He's not playing well? Get this. This is a comment that he made, and I think this has a lot to do with Kellen Moore here. Listen to this. He goes, I'm getting better on post-snap assignments and movement. That's NFL quarterbacking. When you can make adjustments post-snap, remember I told you that's what Vic's trying to do to quarterbacks. Is post-snap movement. You know how many quarterbacks can't handle post-snap movement? Kenny Pickett can't handle it. You can see the reason why there's a lot of checkdowns. For the record, you know what Pickett said last night that was exceptionally smart in the postgame? One of the Philly reporters asked the question, I don't know which one. How come you didn't make? And this was John McMullen talking to Xander last week about more deep passes down the field. What did Tanner say last night after the game? You know what he said? I go with what the defense gives me to move the chains. Shit. If every quarterback had that mentality, Jalen Hurts wouldn't have had 15 picks and would have a check down game that made him a 4,500-yard passer every year. All they had to do was think that philosophy a year ago. Jalen Hurts would throw for 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns. Hurts has never had that mentality. This guy's developed it watching, and you see him do it. And I think Hurts is going to put that element in his game this year. I mean, you threw for 3,900 yards without a check down game. Always going for those fucking stupid explosion plays don't win Super Bowls. I don't know what is important to the Eagles. Being on the highlight reel for ESPN or winning Super Bowls. Explosion plays don't win Super Bowls. Even Mahomes knows that. I mean, it's just dumb. Rely on your special teams, have a good defense, and go win some ball games. Makes no sense. I mean, he said it perfectly. Post-snap assignments and his post-snap movement, he's better at. I didn't throw deep down the field because Patriots didn't give it to me. The kid Gonzalez is a pretty good ball player. He's again. It was interesting to hear him say that Howie Roseman contacted him before they made the trade for Pickett and said, you're going to compete for the backup job. And McKee was like, okay. If you're the Eagles, you have to be pretty. I thought Will Grier didn't do that awful of a job moving the sticks. For a third-team guy with 13 people, offensive line that got handled last night, I don't think he was horrible. Would I keep him on my team? I might put him on my practice squad. I don't have a problem with him. See, again, some of you guys are late in here. The Wise Tribe, Harold. These guys don't get it. Why Kenny Pickett's number 2 and why the Eagles are making him still number 2. It's all about draft equity. You're missing it, guys. You're missing it. They're trying to get trade value for Pickett. If you devalue him by dropping him in the depth chart, you devalue every time that you put his name out there for a trade, you have just taken 2-3 rounds out of the possibility of trading for him. You guys want to demote Kenny. Get this. You guys want to demote Kenny Pickett, and every time you demote Kenny Pickett, you're going to lose 2 rounds. Every week you demote him to the third team, and he's on third team, you might as well take 2 rounds away every week. Minnesota now, if you put him at third team, Minnesota wouldn't give you a 4. They'd give you you put him at third, they give you a 7 or a 6th. You're trying to get a 4 out of him. Or whatever you traded Pittsburgh for, you're trying to get 1 more round higher to elevate his value. Dropping him behind Tanner McKee was a 7th round pick or 6th round pick is not helping that movement. You guys are not, again, put the business of football into it as well. Okay? Senor is wrong. Last night, Pickett's numbers on a stat sheet, okay, with 2s and 3s, an NFL evaluator is still going to look at that he moved the sticks with guys who will not be on the team. Are you crazy? Get this. Here's why Senor is so wrong on that. Average quarterbacks and decent quarterbacks are getting exceptional money. Senor, listen to this. Some stupid evaluators will grade Pickett high. Correct. And by the way, average quarterbacks in today's NFL get exceptional money. Why wouldn't you have an average quarterback like Pickett get a high evaluation? Use your sense. Follow the money. Tanner McKee has traits like Nick Foles. He puts points on the board. He's doing that with the 2s and 3s. I would love to see him with the 1s. Remember that, guys. Pickett's below average. No shit. You're trying to sell something at a higher price. Holy cow. Stupidity at its highest. Why do you think Bradbury's still on your fucking team, guy? You're still praying some dumbass out there will trade you for him, right? Because there's no other rhyme or reason. There's no other reason that you would have James Bradbury on your team if you weren't trying to trade him, or you're holding him because you're waiting for an injury. Here's the only reason that James Bradbury's on your team. You are waiting for catastrophic injuries at the cornerback position somewhere in the league. Well, someone will be desperate to either pick the contract up or make some type of trade for James Bradbury, lowering his base salary where Howie Roseman can play a percentage of it and the other team pays the other half of it. And you still keep your cap money. No other reason. Okay, Senor, you and I will agree to disagree. Guys, please hit the like button. You guys are great. Xander Krause is going to join us at the bottom of the hour here. Before I take a break, I want to talk about Sirianni and what he said after the game. Here's Nick. And our takeaway on Nick. He said that the next couple days are going to have some intense practices. Now we're starting to get into the evaluation of cutting down the roster because you got to make your first cut. Okay? This is going to be significant here. This is going to be big-time cuts coming up here. And they're going to have to start making a decision. You know, it's funny how he handles Tyler Steen's comments when people ask him a question. They don't want to dismiss Tyler Steen in any way. Why? How he drafted him third round pick. I mean, it's the only reason you don't go like this. He's missed too much. You know what's funny? I don't know why the Eagles can't be honest. Man, he's missed a bunch of time. Hasn't really performed that well in camp. And Micaiah Becton has won that job. What's the point? Why not say that? It's evident. Who in their right mind would not think that? I guarantee you Jeff Stoutland's already made that decision. Guarantee you he's already made that decision. He said that the pressure stopped some of the drives in the first half of the game that New England played their ones. Okay? New England played their ones on defense. Keon White, a bunch of other guys. Christian Gonzalez was out there. Saw a bunch of guys out there that are going to be pretty much their ones. But that's how New England has always done that. Actually, I saw more of that being played out last night than I had under the Belichick last 10 years, where you saw more of the guys playing last night. I thought that was pretty significant by Gerard Mayo. That's a terrible roster. Like I said, I don't think Boston College would lose to those guys. They're not very good. He said, without looking at the tape, Tanner and Kenny, isn't it funny? You guys sit here like Senor and debate me on Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee. Nick told you last night, our number 2 guy is Kenny Pickett. Plain and simple. There's nothing Tyler McKee can do to be the number 2 quarterback on that team. Do you understand that? He's not winning that job. You understand that, right? Get this, and yours trying to fucking put words in my mouth. Remember what I said at the top of the program? Pickett's been outplayed by Tanner. He doesn't listen. I told you Tanner McKee has been outplaying him the entire camp. Last 2 preseason games. Absolutely. But he's not winning that job. 0 chance of him winning that job. 0. 0 chance. 0. Bob Brown says it perfectly. He's long-term. Kenny's short-term. They're going to try to do whatever they can to move him. Kenny Pickett has game experience being in ball games. McKee doesn't. That's not something Kellen Moore probably feels comfortable doing. He'll never win that job. Never. Does McKee have starting quarterback potential? On a bad team, yeah. On the Eagles, no. That team is not positioned for Tyler McKee. You want a veteran quarterback or you want a guy with exceptional talent at the helm of that? I'm not doing training wheels quarterbacking. Why? Why not just go back to Brian Johnson then as coordinator? Why would I want to do that? Put a rookie quarterback who's never played a snap in the NFL behind center and sit there and do that bullshit. You got to be kidding me. 500 viewers. Let's push the button. Guys, appreciate that very much. Thank you, JC. I appreciate that very much, man. Guys, please hit the like button here. Sirianni, yeah. Guys, this is the business of football. Kenny's my number 2. Tanner's number 3. Out of the coach's mouth. He talked about the 89-90 practice plays that the offense got on Tuesdays when it came to not playing as starters. I think it's bullshit. Okay, I think it's complete bullshit. But, hey, that's their call. It's totally their call. We'll see how it plays out September 6th. You said the defense needed more reps. True. Very true. He even liked what Will Greer did. I did too. Here's another interesting comment. I asked about Bryce Huff. Yeah, he continues to improve. $50 million improvement player. What are we running here? Fantasy football camp? What is this? A skills camp? You're in the fucking NFL, guy. I spent $50 million on you. You're coming along? That's a shitty comment. And it's been shitty all the entire camp. I mean, I have a completely different look at that guy. Watch the film. Know your techniques. Watch the way he takes himself out of plays. It's just like, I mean, he has athleticism. You can see it because he'll run into plays. But he was chasing. He got turned around. He looks just like he doesn't know what he's doing. He continues to improve. That's what they keep saying to me. And get this. There's Bryce Huff sightings. Holy shit. $50 million. I got to hope every other play or every 3 plays, the guy's good. Okay. I guess. They think they got a lot of good work out of that practice on Tuesday. I'm going to take his word for it. They probably really did. They probably really did get a lot of good work out of that. It's very vanilla stuff last night, and by design. What you don't want to do is tip anything off to Green Bay. You're not going to really show a lot of stuff. You're not going to, hey, how vanilla was that last night? About as vanilla as you can get. Check downs, some crossing routes. There was nothing where you saw exotic crossing patterns and a lot of things. They're all fundamental stuff last night. Why? Well, you're not tipping shit off. You don't want to put anything on film that Green Bay gets a chance to game plan against right out of the gate. You know, every team gets these game films. You know why? Why do you guys think every NFL team will have that film last night and they'll have the 22 and they'll have the game from NFL Films? Why do you think every single team will have that game film, including Green Bay? Why do you think they'll have that film? They're looking for potential guys that you're going to cut coming up next week. Okay? Green Bay's going to have 2 different things. They're tipping anything off. Are they doing anything pre-snap, post-snap? What are they doing on defense with multiple looks, multiple fronts? That high safety 2, they're going to keep an eye on. And they're going to start looking at how they're moving and matching, who they're dropping in nickel, who they're dropping in dime. Okay? So Green Bay's already taken that film and started dissecting it, seeing if there's anything that they could take out of it for September 6th. Okay? Lily goes, Dan, why is Anais Smith looking bad? I don't think he knows the playbook. He's not a very good route runner. And from what I've seen so far, he's got shitty hands. I mean, I don't see it. I don't even, it's like almost like he's unbecoming of a player. I mean, I have not seen him do anything like make a play. Okay. All vanilla stuff last night. That's right, Crowley. All vanilla. He backtracked the last comment that was made to him. Last year, he made the comment. One of the reporters called him on it, Sirianni, that he said, hey, Nick, you said at the end of the year, you regretted not playing your starters in the preseason. It looks like we're going to roll towards that again, where we're not playing them. And he went into this 10-minute fucking answer. And finally, you know how you figure out the answer for Sirianni? The first 10 seconds and the last 10 seconds. The other minute and a half that's in the middle of his answer, is bullshit. So just listen to the first 10 and the last 10. You know, he can answer every question in 20 seconds. Instead, he answers every question in 2 minutes. Absolutely, B. Costello, it's a word salad. So you got to kind of get smart at it. Eventually, you hear it, and he's got a pattern. First 10 seconds, last 10 seconds. That's when you know that that's how the answer is. The shit in the middle is stupid. He says a lot of dumb shit, man. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't know. You got to just dissect his words because he really doesn't say anything unless it's at the beginning or at the end. Then you got to kind of tapeworm it together. It's really weird how he answers questions. But here he is. Now he's backtracking on something else. Well, yeah. Looks like we're not going to play the guys. Okay. New coordinator, new system, practice game, scrimmages, and here we go. Okay. Fair enough. By the way, on August 16th, that's an opinion of Big Sills, Hugh Douglas, and also John Ritchie. And I happen to agree with those guys. I don't think they prepared them. 3 NFL guys versus the media guys and Nick. Okay. Okay. I happen to disagree. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. I'm going to have my starting 22 also. And we're going to talk with Xander Krause at the bottom. Don't forget, Philly 500 will join us at 4:30. And we will also have the legendary Philly Godfather. That will be at 5:30. Guys, Xander, where are we right now in the like list? You guys have been killing it, man. I appreciate you guys killing it, man. Just absolutely. Where are we on the like list, guys? Guys have been absolutely smoking it. Please hit the like button, guys. Hey, by the way, guys, I told you my honest obsession or observation, excuse me, of what I saw last night. Wasn't bad. I think they took care of everything. And if they would have played their ones, they would have blown them out. On the offensive side, for sure, they'd have blown them out. Okay? Guys, do me a favor. Please do me a favor. By the way, we really appreciate you guys so much. Really awesome, man. I mean, cameraman Nick must be Irish because he ain't no Italian. Big Dom needs to correct that. Italian. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that like button. Xander Krause around the corner. Co-host of Burst 365. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.